Welcome to Simply a Social Workers podcast. Thank you for tuning in today. This podcast is audio only. Feel free to go over to my bio to learn about me. Any information you may have will be in my description section. And if this content helps you in any way, please like, share, and subscribe. In this episode, I will cover daily routines, practicing practical morning systems. I will note that every family is different. There will be certain tools that I provide you'll have to tweak according to your schedule and your family. By now, most kids are back at school. So some of what I say, your kids may not be back in school depending on where you live in the country. But most kids, especially in the South, they're back at school. So when you think about your schedule, think about your daily routine. Ask yourself if your daily routine, especially in the morning, is it working for you? Do you even have a morning routine? Because some people, they don't. They just get up, they go with the flow. They don't like to feel restricted. But what I found is if you have a routine, it helps your day go better. And then if, of course, we have unexpected things happen, but that prepares you because you've already did the things you knew that were going to happen. So that's the reason I talk about having a daily routine. So again, think about, do you have a morning routine? Are you able to get everybody up before you do? Are you able to get yourself up and get everything you need done before your children get up or before the house gets up? Are you able to make the lunches? Are you able to get breakfast going? Are you able to get all the book bags at the door before everyone gets up? I know that's a lot, but I had to ask the question because some people don't have a routine. If that routine sounds exhausting, it is. It is. But consider this. Do you help with the morning routine? Is there someone else in the house, your husband, your wife, your older children? Do they help you with the routine? If you're doing everything solo, it is exhausting. So what I first recommend is if you have a routine, you may want to tweak it, especially because the kids are back in school or they'll be starting school. Have the conversation before they're back in school. And if they've already started and you haven't had that conversation about establishing a morning routine, begin to have those conversations. Don't call a family meeting, but just over dinner, say, listen, we need to come up with a morning routine. And then just start listening. Don't assign anybody anything yet. Just listen. Just be present and see what is going to come up out of the conversation. See if everybody's on board. See if they're listening. Because sometimes people are at the table eating and on their phone, they're not even listening. So make sure if you can, all phones, away from the table so you can at least have the conversation so you get the support you need so that your morning can be less stressful. So the first thing that I recommend is have the conversation you need to get the assistance you need in the morning so that your routine will not turn into a nightmare. So I highly recommend once you've had the conversation that you kind of assess your family and look and see, I need to prepare as much as I can before the morning. Whether that's having book bags at the door, making sure you do lunch prep and have everything you can in the refrigerator, have snacks put to the side. Some kids, I know they eat lunch at school, but there are also some that prepare the lunch at home and the kids take some lunch to school. And then homework, have all the homework to the side. If you need to sign papers, have all that stacked up. So that, anything that needs to be signed, it's in a separate place all the time where, that's your go-to. You need to sign papers. You need to sign whatever activities they have going on at school, but it's in a separate place. So you're not running in the morning trying to find out what do I need to do, especially if you take the kids to school. Some kids, they have a bus, but some parents take their kids to school, and I understand that. So prepare as much as you can the night before. Solicit help from those in the house. Kind of assign tasks. What I often tell people to do is it is better to prepare ahead of time than try to prepare on the fly. So think about the people that are in your house. Do you have a night owl? That's a person that stays up kind of late and everybody else is going to bed. It's always one in the family that's just up. They're just walking around or trying to stay up late or watch TV or on their phone. That's the night owl. Solicit the night owl. Since they're up, make them work. Make sure that that person is assigned to have maybe the book bags at the door or all the homework set to the side where you can see it first thing in the morning when you wake up and it's quiet, and if you need to sign paperwork. I always recommend maybe having a basket and have them put a pen, a black pen, and the homework or the papers that need to be signed, have it where you can see it first thing in the morning. Most people get up after they get dressed and brush their teeth and go to the kitchen, especially if they have children. So have them sit the basket somewhere where you can see the paperwork, have the pen already in there. That's their task. Every morning, making sure that the book bags are at the door, but the papers that need to be signed, it's in the basket with the pen. That would be their task, the night owl. And then every family has that early bird. So think about who in your family is the night owl, who is the early bird. So the one that gets up before everybody else, they're happy to be awake. That person can go ahead and get dressed if they can on their own. They can go ahead and prepare and bring, whatever the food that's going to be that morning. If you're going to make breakfast, they can cut up the fruit or they can sit the fruit out, get the glasses, the orange juice, whatever the breakfast is going to be that morning. They can prep it and get all that ready. Make sure all the shoes are at the door. Some families, we keep our shoes at the door, but some families, they keep it in their room. So make sure everybody's shoes is at the door in their room or they can get to those. Make sure maybe everybody has their toothpaste out. Whatever that early bird can help with, give them that task. And I will say this, don't give them too much to do because they'll forget. Some don't, most of them do. So try to give the early bird things that that they will be able to do. They're responsible enough that hey, they'll be able to do this. That is what you solicit the early bird to do. So you won't have so much to do. And I often think about successful routines, and how they become successful is diligence, doing them all the time. It takes teamwork and adaptability. Give the entire family the grace to get on board with this new daily morning routine. It takes time. Don't expect everything to go right every morning. Just like you would want grace for a new job or a new opportunity or a new chapter, give the family that same grace. They're going to forget. They're going to be grumpy some days. They're going to be tired. They're not going to want to do it. Have them do it anyway. They'll be fine. So I always encourage families, don't expect everything to change overnight, but you should see some level of balance, some level of diligence, teamwork, and adaptability within a month, if not sooner. The hard work really does pay off. When you continue to implement a structure, especially in your home, and your team members, your family, they buy in. In other words, they buy what you're selling. Having the house in some form of structure and having a routine, you will be able to tell it's working. Why? Because everybody bought into it. Everybody's doing it. You don't have to remind them every day now. They know to have the book bags at the door. They know to have the breakfast on the table. Some families make their beds in the morning. I always like the bed to be made, but some families, they say make it when you get home. So whatever the morning routine you're trying to implement, if you don't have one already, think about what works for your family. And I know every family is different. Give yourself the grace. If you have a large family or medium-sized family, you got a night owl. If it's just two of you, one of you are the night owl and the other one is the early riser. It's always those two systems in the house. You got your early riser, then you have your night owl. So think about what your early riser can help you do. And then the night owl. So if it's you, then you do the stuff at night, and the early riser get the stuff going in the morning. Just so it's not overwhelming. It's difficult to do everything by yourself. But you should see, within a month, you should see just a remarkable change to your routine. Your stress level is incredibly low. You'll see that because you've worked the system. So if you're thinking about how to do a morning system is what people do every morning when they get up. Some people, they start preparing their day that morning. I am, on the other hand, I prepare my morning the day before. Why? Because the less stress, the better. I don't like to just wake up and wonder how my day is going to be. I at least like to prepare as much as you possibly can. I always recommend that. Some people don't like it. They're like, I don't need to prepare. That's fine. I've lived long enough that I know life just happens. Things happen. And so if I've already prepared everything else, I won't be as stressful when life just happens and other things are just thrown in there. So that's the reason I try to recommend for those that have a morning system where they typically will just go with whatever happens that morning. And they kind of wonder, like, why am I stressed? Well, no routine, no schedule. That adds to stress. So as much as you possibly can, my recommendation is to try to do as much as you possibly can, especially if you're solo. Try to do everything to prepare the night before. If you are solo means you're just a single parent. Not saying just, because I don't mean to take it slightly, because I think that's enormous. I know there are men that are raising their children. There are wives that are, single women that are raising their children. There are grandparents raising grandchildren. There are aunts and uncles. So there's many dynamics in raising children. So I honor that. But I also say, if at all possible, if you can solicit the children or the young adults to help in the house, it will help you so much. My recommendation is to not do everything by yourself. Why? You'll be angry. You'll be exhausted. And you'll be miserable to be around. Nobody's going to want to be around you. You're going to be so angry. So try as much as you can to delegate to the team members in your family, just so that you will not be overwhelmed. It will diminish your stress. It really does. And as I get ready to let you go, I want to invite each listener to download my free back to school morning routine checklist. It is in the description section of this podcast, and episode 2, it's in there as well. My next episode that I'll be talking about on the series Back to School Without Stress, I'll try to discuss the first month back. I know some people will still not be back depending on where they live in the country, but I'll be discussing the homework flow, how to keep the home calm once school has begun. And so I just want to say thank you for listening and have a great week.